Video game Easter eggs are usually fun little nods between developers, but sometimes they're hidden weapons designed to roast the competition. From a Hawaiian shirt wearing Tommy Vercetti drowning in armbands, to 2 dead Resident Evil heroes who forced Capcom's lawyers to get involved, and a piece of Master Chief armor mocked by Duke Nukem himself. These are the 10 Easter eggs that roasted the competition in video games. And we're going through all of them. Kicking us off at number 10 is Grand Theft Auto V wing at the most iconic super soldier in gaming history, Master Chief. Rockstar Games has never been shy about roasting other franchises, but this one might be the laziest, funniest jab they've ever sneaked into Los Santos. Walk down the Walk of Fame in Vinewood, and you'll come across 2 NPCs wearing what appears to be bright green Master Chief armor, except these versions of the Chief have, let's say, taken a few too many trips through the buffet line. They're chunky, awkwardly proportioned, and walking around in cheap-looking cosplay armor that screams convention floor instead of Halo lore. What makes this Easter egg so funny is the framing. These aren't legitimate Master Chiefs from Halo, they're Rockstar's way of mocking the over-the-top action figure perfect aesthetic of Bungie's hero. It's like Rockstar is saying, we could make a Master Chief too, but in our world, he'd be a regular Walk of Fame weirdo asking for a tip. For Halo fans, it lands somewhere between a chuckle and a quiet ouch. Master Chief is the face of an entire console generation. Microsoft's Golden Boy, and Rockstar just casually dropped 2 out-of-shape versions of him into their open world, without permission, without explanation, without apology. It's a small detail in a game packed with thousands of secrets, but it's a perfect example of Rockstar's confidence. They knew Halo fans would find it. They knew it would spark debate. And honestly, this kind of low-key competitive shade is exactly why Rockstar's Easter eggs are legendary. At number 9, we've got the Easter egg that allegedly forced Capcom's legal team to get involved, and honestly, it's the wildest behind-the-scenes story on this entire list. In Dying Light 2, during the broadcast mission, you're tasked with tracking down 2 missing squad members named Leon and Chris. When you find Leon, he's already on death's door. After he passes, you can grab his dog tags, which reveal his full name as Leon Kennedy. Yes, that Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil. Then he tells you that his partner, Chris, punched through and went the other way.
Chris, he punched through and went that way.
So you follow the trail and eventually find Chris, now a zombie. You have to put him down, grab his dog tags, and discover that his name is Chris Redfield, the famous boulder punching beefcake from Resident Evil 5. The punched through comment? A direct reference to Chris Redfield's infamous boulder punching scene. That's the kind of brutal jab developers dream of pulling off. According to widely reported gaming news, Capcom, the company that owns the Resident Evil franchise, was reportedly not amused. Shortly after Dying Light 2's launch, the names of these 2 characters were quietly changed in subsequent updates to Leon Bluefield and Chris Kennedy, a clear lawyer-friendly modification to remove any direct trademark conflict. Capcom reportedly stepped in, and the names quietly changed to Leon Bluefield and Chris Kennedy in later updates. An Easter egg so disrespectful it forced another studio's lawyers to act. Legendary chaos. At number 8, we've got the legendary Rockstar vs. Reflections War, a back-and-forth Easter egg battle that lasted years and produced some of gaming's pettiest moments. It all started with Driver 3 taking a shot at Rockstar's golden child GTA Vice City. Hidden around Driver 3's game world, you can find an NPC named Tommy Vercetti, a Hawaiian shirt-wearing, submachine gun-wielding man who looks suspiciously like Tommy Vercetti from Vice City, except this version has one humiliating addition: floaty armbands, the kind kids wear at swimming pools. Why armbands? Because in Vice City, Tommy Vercetti famously couldn't swim. Step in water, instant death. So Driver 3's developers thought they'd troll Rockstar by giving their parody version those embarrassing arm floaties. Bold move, risky move, bad move. Because Rockstar fired back hard in GTA San Andreas. During the Mad Dog's Rhymes mission, you can hear an NPC guard playing a video game and shouting, "How could refractions mess up so bad?" Tanner, you
How can refractions mess up so bad? Tanner, you suck ass.
A brutal double dig at Driver 3's developer Reflections Interactive and the game's main character, John Tanner. Rockstar didn't just respond, they name-dropped the developer and the main character in a single line of throwaway dialogue. The Tommy Vercetti armbands joke was funny. Rockstar's comeback was savage. Driver 3 launched 2 years after Vice City and had been heavily criticized as a buggy disappointment. So when Rockstar fired back, they had the high ground, the bigger franchise, and the better game. Reflections never recovered, and the Driver series quietly faded after that. If you ever needed proof that you don't poke Rockstar with sharp sticks, this is Exhibit A, a legendary rivalry. At number 7, Rage 2, quietly mocking Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed franchise with one of the most popular dead body Easter eggs in gaming. Climb to the top of a specific tower in Rage 2, and you'll first notice that your character makes a subtle Metal Gear Solid 3 reference, mothering with a thrill, which is already a fun callback. But the real prize is at the bottom of the tower. Look down from the top, and you'll spot a body sprawled out on the ground below. The figure is wearing what looks an awful lot like the iconic white robes of Altair from the original Assassin's Creed, including the signature hood, the red sash, and the dramatic spread eagle landing posture you would expect from someone who attempted the famous leap of faith. Except they botched the landing. This Easter egg is a clear roast of one of Assassin's Creed's most overused tropes, the leap of faith, where assassins jump from absurd heights into haystacks and somehow survive. Rage 2 essentially says, "Hey Ubisoft, here's what would actually happen if your assassins tried that." What makes this Easter egg great is how casually brutal it is. Rage 2 doesn't go out of its way to label this corpse. There's no big neon sign. It's just a quiet visual jab, a tip of the hat to gamers who've been making fun of haystack landings for years. The leap of faith gone wrong has become such a popular Easter egg that you can find variations across multiple games. But Rage 2's version stands out for its placement, its setup, and the perfect Metal Gear reference right before the reveal. 2 roasts for the price of 1. At number 6, we've got one of the most legendary hidden Easter eggs in gaming history. Rocksteady Studios essentially flexing on every other superhero game developer before they even knew Batman, Arkham Asylum was going to be a hit. Before Arkham Asylum launched in 2009, superhero games had a rough reputation. Most were licensed cash grabs. The Batman games before this one were considered mediocre at best, embarrassing at worst. So when Rocksteady's Arkham Asylum came out and turned out to be one of the greatest superhero games ever made, the gaming world was genuinely shocked. Rocksteady had been planning a sequel the entire time, and they hid the proof inside Arkham Asylum. If you head into Warden Quincy Sharp's office and use Batman's explosive gel on a specific spot on the left wall, you can blow open a secret panel. Behind that panel is a hidden room with detailed architectural blueprints labeled Arkham City, including a fully approved plan to convert North Gotham into the setting of what would become the sequel game. This Easter egg sat undiscovered for over 6 months after launch. Players never found it organically. Rocksteady themselves had to publicly reveal it later when Arkham City was officially announced. The audacity of this roast is unmatched. While other superhero game developers were scraping together cheap movie tie-ins, Rocksteady was confidently planting sequel teases inside their first game and hiding them so well that even fans couldn't find them. It's a flex disguised as an Easter egg, a power move dressed as a hidden secret, and it set the standard for what superhero games could be, leaving every other licensed superhero project of that era looking small by comparison. Legendary stuff. At number 5, Kingdom Come. Deliverance comes for one of the most beloved RPGs of all time, CD Projekt Red's The Witcher 3, and the roast happens right in the middle of a normal NPC conversation. When you visit the stables in Kingdom Come, you can browse the horses available for sale. One of them is named Roach. And if your gaming brain hasn't started screaming yet, just wait. Because if you actually ask the stable owner about this horse, he gives you this absolute gem of a line. Oh, she's a pretty good horse, though she's got a mind of her own. I bought her from some odd Polish fellow. He said now he's settled down with a wife. He's afraid she'd want him to stuff her. Poles are a perverse lot. Let's break down the multi-layered roast here. First, Roach is the iconic name of Geralt of Rivia's horse in The Witcher 3. Second, the odd Polish fellow was a clear reference to CD Projekt Red, the Polish studio that made The Witcher. Third, the comment about the man settling down with a wife appears to reference Geralt's relationships throughout the Witcher games. Fourth, the perverse lot line is just Kingdom Come piling on for fun. It's a 4-layer Easter egg burn delivered with the kind of casual disrespect that only comes from one studio trash talking another. Warhurst Studios essentially flexed about their realistic medieval RPG while taking shots at the fantasy magic and monsters approach of The Witcher. The kicker? CD Projekt Red are massive Polish gaming legends. Witcher 3 is one of the most awarded games of all time. Kingdom Come came at them with confidence, and gamers ate it up. A bold, layered roast worth experiencing. At number 4, CD Projekt Red decided to fire back at the entire Assassin's Creed franchise, and they did it with one of the most popular dead body Easter eggs in gaming. While roaming The Witcher 3's massive open world, you can stumble across a haystack, a totally normal-looking haystack like the kind found across countless medieval villages. But this haystack is special. Climb up next to it and you'll discover something sticking out of the top. A dead body. Specifically, the corpse of someone dressed in the unmistakable white hooded robes of an Assassin's Creed assassin. Geralt, in classic Geralt fashion, deadpans about how some people just never learn. A direct mockery of Assassin's Creed's most famous and most ridiculed gameplay mechanic, the leap of faith. For over a decade, Ubisoft's assassins have been jumping from cathedral towers, mountain peaks, and ridiculous heights into tiny piles of hay that magically break their fall. Gamers have been laughing about it for years. CD Projekt Red took that joke and made it canon in their universe. In The Witcher 3's world, the leap of faith doesn't work. That assassin jumped, missed, and ended up as a corpse in the hay. Geralt finds the body, makes his quiet, judgmental comment, and moves on. It's a quiet, brutal roast hidden in a massive open world, and that's what makes it so effective. CD Projekt Red didn't need to announce it. They didn't need a cutscene. They just placed a dead assassin in a haystack and let gamers figure it out. Years after release, this is still one of the most shared Witcher 3 Easter eggs online, and it remains the gold standard for subtle competitor roast Easter eggs in gaming history. At number 3, we go back to 1996, the era when first-person shooters were locked in a brutal arms race for dominance, and Duke Nukem 3D decided to roast its biggest competitor in the most disrespectful way possible. The mid-90s was peak FPS rivalry. Doom was the undisputed king of the genre, fast, brutal, and revolutionary. Then in 1996, Quake dropped from id Software, the same team behind Doom, pushing the genre into full 3D. And in the middle of all this, Duke Nukem 3D launched with one of gaming's most arrogant Easter eggs. On the Death Row level in Duke Nukem 3D, you can find a hidden area containing the corpse of the Doom Marine, the iconic protagonist of the Doom franchise, sprawled out on the ground. Standing over him, Duke delivers his trademark sneer that's one doomed space marine. It's a perfect Duke line.
That's one doomed space marine.
A throwaway pun. The casual murder of an entire competing franchise's hero, and it's also a flex. Duke Nukem, the cigar-smoking action hero with one-liners, standing victorious over the silent, faceless Doom guy who was basically the most popular character in shooters at the time. What makes this Easter egg so legendary is the era it came from. There were no big patches, No live service updates, no Twitter callouts. If you wanted to roast a competitor, you hid it in your game and hoped players found it, and boy did they find this one. Duke Nukem's developers 3D Realms knew exactly what they were doing. They weren't just making a game, they were declaring war on Doom. And this Easter egg was their opening shot, a classic that still slaps almost 30 years later. At number 2, we've got an entry from one of the most hilarious indie game collections out there, the Henry Stickmin Collection, taking a shot at one of Nintendo's most controversial gameplay mechanics ever. In escaping the prison, one of the levels in the Henry Stickmin series, you reach a chase sequence where you're being pursued by gun-wielding guards. The game gives you a choice of how to react. If you choose to turn left, Henry will mysteriously trip on nothing, completely flat ground, no obstacle, just pure cosmic punishment, and the screen flashes a message, LOL Brawl reference. For anyone who played Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii, this hits in a very specific place in your soul. Brawl introduced a mechanic called random tripping, where your character would inexplicably fall to the ground while running completely outside of player control. There was no warning, no counter, just sudden, random embarrassment that could cost you matches at the highest level. Competitive Smash players hated this mechanic. Brawl was largely rejected from major Smash tournaments because of it. Nintendo quietly removed random tripping from every Smash game after Brawl, essentially admitting it was a mistake. The Henry Stickmin Collection took that universally hated mechanic and made it a literal joke. Henry trips, you fail. The game tells you straight to your face that this is a Brawl reference. It's a perfect troll because it weaponizes the very frustration that defined Brawl's reputation among competitive players. Henry Stickmin's developers turned years of fighting game community frustration into a single comedic Easter egg. And honestly, they earned that roast. Brawl absolutely deserved this jab, and gamers everywhere felt seen by this hidden detail. And at number 1, we close this list with Duke Nukem Forever taking a casual shot at Gearbox Software's biggest franchise, Borderlands. The cruel irony? Gearbox was the studio that finally finished Duke Nukem Forever after its legendary 15-year development hell. While playing Duke Nukem Forever, you can stumble across a familiar object, the severed head of a psycho character from Borderlands. The Psychos are those iconic masked axe-wielding maniacs that became the unofficial face of the Borderlands franchise. Their grinning porcelain masks are one of the most recognizable visuals in modern gaming, and Duke Nukem Forever just casually has one, lying around, detached. But here's where it gets really funny. Duke takes a look at the head and delivers a casual line referencing the fact that the character at least got an ending, a direct callback to Duke Nukem Forever's own infamous reputation. The game was in development for over 15 years. It went through multiple studios. It became gaming's biggest punchline for over a decade before finally releasing in 2011. So Duke standing over a Borderlands psycho head saying at least he got an ending is a perfect double-edged roast. It mocks Borderlands while simultaneously acknowledging Duke's own development drama. It's self-aware, it's petty, it's everything you'd expect from gaming's most arrogant cigar-chomping hero. What makes this Easter egg so iconic is that Gearbox itself made Duke Nukem Forever. The studio that owns Borderlands literally let this roast against their own franchise stay in the final game. That's either incredibly self-aware humor or developers who genuinely couldn't say no to Duke. Either way, it's a perfect ending to a list of legendary developer roasts hidden inside our favorite games. Duke wins again. That's our list. Which Easter egg roast hit hardest? Drop it in the comments. Smash that like, subscribe for more gaming countdowns, and we'll see you next time.